one of the decisions the Miami Heat will make this summer involves Nikola Jovic, who will be eligible to sign a rookie-scale extension on July 1. The organization drafted him with the number 27 pick in 2022. Jovic, who will turn 22 next week, averaged a career-high 10.7 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game for the Heat this past season, shooting 45.6% from the field and 37.1% from three. He missed a chunk of the season with a fractured right hand, resulting in him playing 46 games. It marked the second straight year that Jovic played 46 games. He played 15 as a rookie. His postseason performance was a mixed bag, which is understandable, given that he hadn't played in 2 months because of his injury. Jovic played 1 minute in the Game 1 loss, 25 minutes in Game 2, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 19 minutes in Game 3, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block, and 29 minutes in Game 4, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Jovic's Game 4 performance is still fresh on the minds of Heat fans. No one questions whether the potential is there, but more so, his injury history and fit in Miami. Nikola Jovic will be eligible to sign extension with Heat this offseason. Signing Jovic to a contract extension worth $10 million annually would be a good deal for the Heat, especially if his shooting improves. It'd lock him in for a solid price for the next few years. His contract, especially since he has continued to trend upward, could also be used as a trade chip. The front office needs to determine what they envision for Jovic, but, of course, it's not all up to Miami. Jovic could enter next season without signing an extension, meaning he'd become a restricted free agent next offseason. Betting on himself could result in the Heat having to pay more to keep him, or it could leave Jovic with a less desirable contract than the one he could sign this offseason. Not signing a deal this summer would be a risky move, but it could ultimately pay off for him, but that might not be in Miami. The Heat should push to sign Jovic to an extension this offseason, but that doesn't mean they should overpay him. Watching how his situation unfolds will be interesting. If the Miami Heat are hoping to maximize the Bam Adebayo era, then they should follow the blueprint that the Indiana Pacers have laid out for how they bring the best out of Pascal Siakam. Adebayo and Siakam are by no means identical players, possessing differences in their style and general approach that must be acknowledged. The structure within which Siakam thrives, however, can be adapted to the manner in which Adebayo is utilized in Miami. Rick Carlisle has crafted a system that emphasizes Siakam's greatest strengths and simultaneously forgives his inconsistencies. Much of that can be attributed to roster structure, which must be taken into consideration in Miami. The presence of Miles Turner as a floor-spacing rim protector, for instance, is as important as any other function of the team, including the elite playmaking from Tyrese Haliburton. The true genius of what Carlisle and the Pacers have done, however, is that they've allowed Siakam to play his game, all the while positioning him to excel in large bursts. Heat can learn from Pacers' Pascal Siakam approach to maximize Bam Adebayo. Putting aside any knowledge of the context of what's actually transpired, the 2025 NBA playoffs would look like a period of hot and cold moments from Siakam. For instance, he scored 20-plus points in each of Indiana's first 3 games during the postseason, only to score 22 between his next 2 showings. Siakam has registered 3 30-point games and 8 20-point performances, but he's also mustered 15 or fewer points in 4 outings, shooting 6 of 15 and 7 of 16 in 2 others. Rather than lamenting what's gone wrong, however, the Pacers have empowered Siakam to play at the pace he's capable. They're getting him the ball in the perfect spots and trusting him to make plays when it matters most. The result: all 3 of Siakam's 30-point performances were registered during the Eastern Conference Finals, including a 31-point showing in the decisive Game 6. Siakam has made a living out of shooting threes, burying mid-range jumpers when they don't have to come from an angle, and scoring at virtual will in the paint. He's shot 13 of 25 on mid-range shots in the middle of the court, but 16 of 61 from any angle to either the left or right. He also buried 66.3% of his shots in the restricted area and 41.8% of his three-point field goals from middle of the floor or above the right break. When that's failed, he buried 43.9% of his corner threes from the left side of the offensive court. With this in mind, it should come as no surprise that Siakam has attempted 57.8% of his shots in the aforementioned deficient areas during the 2025 NBA playoffs. Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo's ongoing trade saga continues to dominate the basketball landscape. With both the Bucks and prospective suitors waiting on bated breath for an announcement on his decision to possibly move forward with a trade request, the trade rumor mill has come alive. The Miami Heat and their uber-aggressive team president Pat Riley were likely to heavily pursue a blockbuster trade for the 2021 NBA Finals MVP, but recent updates have thrown a wrench into that plan. According to a new post from Forbes' Evan Sidery on X, citing DraftKings Sportsbook odds, it seems as though the Heat have fallen out of the race to acquire the generational talent via trade in the coming months. With the Bucks leading the charge with -140 odds to have the legendary forward return and the Brooklyn Nets sitting at +2,000 to land Antetokounmpo, the Heat were not listed anywhere in between. After falling out of the top 8 teams with regard to the likelihood of acquiring the 30-year-old megastar, the Heat may have to pivot. Other big-time talents such as the Phoenix Suns' Kevin Durant and Atlanta Hawks' Trae Young will still pique the Heat's interest as possible trade targets this offseason. Still, potentially missing out on the chance to bring in one of the most dominant two-way players in league history would be devastating for a franchise looking to remain competitive in the Eastern Conference. In 67 appearances for the Bucks during the 2024-25 regular season, Antetokounmpo contributed 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 6.5 assists while knocking down 60.1% of his attempts from the field. Through his incredible effort, the 9-time All-Star earned a third-place finish in MVP voting and a 7th consecutive All-NBA first-team selection. Antetokounmpo's potential partnership with the Heat's fearsome duo of Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo would have a chance to wreck the East, but it may not have a real shot at coming to fruition.